Yo, atie for ne yahwe for mama kwaba eba pema pem TV so. Eye mo somfo agemfena. Bre aso se menamo ebetwetwe nkomo kakra. Mpanin se asemi dika hwane beka. Wo na obeka me na meka. Ne wo mu nyina ne se yeda soriye na chese asemde bi abagana. Eye otumfo ose tutu nyankese Asanteman wura no. Yeda soriye na yikoti news bi free BBC se eye abrofo no English abrofo no brebi Ghana bakwasemu no omane Asanteman edi akon na enum ana omusan eba Asanteman mu a na chese omu governor eti yen hanoma na chese Ghana ha odi Ghana so na omo asojafo no asrafo no omu ewia Asanteman eniema akukudam ejapade eye Asanteman dia eye good ornament yesi oba kama my friend pempena ne na Regalia no eno na omu wia ya omode koye na omode koye nso aja omode koma omu wura ese soja ni ko kona okonya japade anaze okowie bibi fi ho a okwa na ode koma ni wura osoma no kokon eninti ukọ British Museum yefe no Victoria and Albert eho ena saa Asanteman ejapade a sunsun mu nananom ejapade omode ekoguye na yenyanteye se omane Asanteman ayapam na ohwe saa apam na ese 50 years ago ena nananom a omo Asanteman mu etu anamon se kwan bia ombefa so a omobeje saa neema no ede abra Asanteman ana asande aba Asanteman mu omobefa so na enum nso no na chese Britain fo enso ewo mra bi a omahihye ne bra encheye ana metia bi mu se neema na japade bia omo kokon ana omo tu kwan ko akrofo aman so titimire mu omo ko wiade ba ye nyina omu ni hu kwan se omo sande oni akon ade ema no nemum omo ye nhihye bi se nipa na omo wia na ade no betimi de neema na afem no omo de afri no se onje na aja ongo hwe ni mu kakra ana onko yusu bi for the meantime na echi ana bra esemu no wasan de ababak saa nkitahudie no ena ekọọso a eye Asanteman ene Asanteman wura etimi ne Britain abrofo no etwetwe nkomo bi efa saa Asanteman Regalia ana Asanteman ejapade a na abrofo no afomafa abrofo no ewia ade akogu omo museum no nananom adaroma omutimi ene abrofo yi atwetwe nkomo 50 years ni o ena nkomo twetwe chance ekọọso a enne ebitimi aka se diase ye adwuma se saa neema na abrofo no bewie aye asrafo no bewie free Ghana ha no omode besan abre Asanteman na Asanteman ede akogu Manhyia Museum na amanfo che se saa nkratasem wi no amam yinu no enim hwe eye Manhyia ene Manhyia Museum ene Albert and Victoria and Albert Museum a ewo London no ena edi saa nkitahudi ya omotimi de saa neema wi bria esemu no omode Manhyia ade ebre no abrofo no ba no omu wi aneema bebre omu fa neema bebre Ghana japade enye Ghana nkon ukọ Benin ewo Nigeria omu Federal State omu fe ni Benin ena ukọ Benin Republic ankasa so na ukọ so many African countries Utimu including Ethiopia crampona omono abrofo anhyeda ni omo so ana omo ankasa omo de omo ho pono abrofo itimi fa kwan bi so ewia omo niam na omo chapade bebre. Please, if you're on Pimampim TV, this topic concerns the Ashanti Kingdom, so I have to start with the Ghanaian language, the Twi dialect, so that those in Ghana or those in the Ashanti Kingdom will be able to understand the language. That is why I started with the Ghanaian language, so that those back home in Ghana will understand the topic that I have raised today. There was a news in the BBC that the Albert and Victoria and Albert Museum in central London has released or loaned the regalias or the jewelries, the ornaments made for the Ashanti Kingdom. That those ornaments were looted during the Ashanti and Anglo War, the Ashanti and the British War. They looted a lot of regalias from the Ashanti Kingdom, and there has been an agreement between the Ashanti Manhyia Museum or the Ashanti Kingdom, the recent kingdom. The issue is this agreement was started 50 years ago. That is what I should acknowledge. It was not started by the recent leaders of Ashanti. This was started by some Ashanti leaders and the Ashanti kings 50 years ago. And the able Ashanti king, Nana Osei Tutu II, Otunfuo, has been able to liaise with the English counterparts, the English Victoria and Albert Museum, to assess those ornaments that were looted from the Ashanti Kingdom when the Ashantis were colonized, or when Ghana was colonized. The military were able to loot a lot of ornaments from the Ashanti Kingdom. So they are yet to return those ornaments back to the Ashanti King. So this is the agreement between Victoria and Albert Museum. This is a living testimony of what transpired in hundreds of years ago. Hundreds of years. When we hear of the history of the slave trade, when we hear of this history of the Ashanti and the British War, it looks like they are mere stories. It looks like they are just fabricated stories. They are real stories, because those who came to rule the continent or to rule the Gold Coast acknowledge that those things in their museum, most of the artifacts in their museum does not belong to them. Those artifacts do not belong to them. They belong to various African countries that they occupied. Those countries that they occupied, those artifacts or the ornaments or the regalias belongs to them. So we thank God that in good time, all those things that were looted from Africa will be returned to the Africans in good time. But the issue is, these regalias are being loaned out to the rare owners. Please drop your comment on this topic, because it's very mind-boggling and intriguing, in the sense that I owe something. You came to rule me, or you came to stay with me, or you came to my country or my community and unlawfully obtain my assets. Then you went, you looted it. It's not like you obtained them. You looted my assets and kept them for ages, for years. Right now, you want to bring those assets to me, but you are loaning it to me as if I'm not the owner. You are just giving to me like a rent. You are renting it out to me. That is what I should put it. That you are loaning the regalias or the ornament which has cultural and spiritual significance. You are loaning it to me, the actual owner. This doesn't sound well, but there's a saying that half a loaf is better than none. It's a step in the right direction, because given this opportunity, given these items, when they come back to stay in their rightful homes, in the rightful museums, I think maybe the Victoria and Albert Museum will have a second thought about the possession of those ornaments. Those ornaments were looted from the Ashanti Kingdom, and they have acknowledged that. Even the BBC used the word looted by the military, by the British Army in those days, in those years. So let's say roughly about 500 or 200 years ago, about 300 years ago, these items were looted from the Ashanti Kingdom, and they were symbols of the spirit. They use it to cleanse the spirit of the king. They use those ornaments, those jewelries, those regalias. They use it to cleanse the spirits of the kings. So those things were stolen. They were looted by the military, and now they are staying or sitting in the museums in foreign countries. So right now, if like I am an I am a British, or if assuming that I'm a citizen in Britain, and I see some jewelries, pot of jewelries, ornaments, artifacts that were stolen from Africa, looted from Africa by the military, and they are now sitting in our museum. In fact, my mindset will not be straight. I, as a citizen, assuming I'm a citizen, my mindset, my conscience will always judge me. I'll be guilty all the time. I'll feel some guilty in my brains. I'll not feel comfortable to see items stolen by my fellow countrymates who had the opportunity to serve in Africa. Before, nobody knew about them. Nobody knew about them. I'm talking about the generation, the current generation. It was only the chiefs who knew about those things, and they were able to document them. They were able to document them, and those who stole it, they also documented the things that they have stolen. So whichever country they looted from, they have indicated that. So they know about the things that they stole or they looted from Togo. They know the artifacts that they looted from Benin. They know the artifacts that they looted from Ghana. They know the artifacts that they looted from Burkina Faso. Whichever country that the foreigners had an opportunity, or the colonial masters had an opportunity over, all those artifacts are well documented in their various museums. But I will thank, or I will say a little thanks to the British, because when I consider other colonial masters or colonial masters, they have not had a second thought on the possession of African artifacts. I think I've only heard of the British all the time trying to hand over artifacts to their respective origins. But I've not heard of other countries who also colonized some African countries and looted their precious or jewelries. Their artifacts were looted. But when it comes to Britain, at least they have a policy to give out what they stole from the African continent. So if you're watching me, kindly subscribe, like, and drop your comment at the comment section. Share the video. This is the breaking news in the media that Ghana has gotten back or received those things that were looted during the Ashanti and the British War. And those things have been returned to the Ashanti Kingdom. And those things are going to be kept at the Manhyia Museum. So when you see or when you hear of these things, it makes everything, all the history, it makes it become real. It makes our history becomes real. That actually something happened. And there were a lot of resistance. But even among those resistance, these people were able to loot a lot of things. They were able to steal a lot of things from our forefathers. We thank God they have come back to their rightful senses and they are giving back those things that they looted back to their respective origins. Also, one thing I want to say before I leave this conversation is that you stole something from me. You looted something from me. Why should you loan it out to me? Does it sound well to loan out something you stole from me? Something that you stole from me. You want to loan it out to me. For how many years? For how long? How? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, if you think it makes sense for somebody who looted your property, who stole your items, to keep it for ages, and now you have discovered that this person is in possession of something that his forefathers stole from my forefathers, and I want them back, and you say you are loaning it out to me, I'm just renting them. Thank you for watching me, and thank you for your time. All the lapses, please kindly forgive us. We try to fix things and make things proper and make things right. In our next video, we will try to improve upon whatever challenges that we encountered in this presentation. The ame pache in some for Argentina, me and amenemo abesom. The woman in an Asanteman, near me be a brofono, ebe we free Asanteman mono. Bre aso se British and a Britain abrofo. Esan de nneɛma no ebre Asanteman na omode ekusi Manhyia Museum. Eno nti Manhyia Museum nneɛma bi a mfie bebree a atwam no abrofo no wiaye no saa nneɛma no kra no ebi kra kodi Ghana ban ho no ma na ewo military barracks na asojafo na ehwe so. Eno enchepi na Manhyia ene Ghana ban ekonte ase apam mu a saa nneɛma no yegya emu ede ma Manhyia. Saa nso na British aban nneɛma efum kodi omo ho omo sojafo bewie free Ghana ede kɔ ya agudie ene mpempena ne a yede etew ahemfo kra ana bambo oman ne kra no saa nneɛma no bre aso se yede Asanteman ade ebre no na omode kogu Manhyia Museum. Medamase pi some bre na musomfo Argentina etwetwe nkomo. Bye bye.